Eric, what do you think about the Second Amendment?
I'm going to try to keep this one short because almost every question you're asking me, this is an epic conversation, honestly. I mean, the complexity and the depth is deep. The Second Amendment is a fundamental right. Trust me, there's always going to be violence. There's always going to be safety concerns. There's always going to be tragedy. There's always going to be an incident that we wish we could have not had. But stripping law-abiding citizens of their rights is not a solution. That is one of the most dangerous notions of the world. Listen, out of all the things the founding fathers learned under tyranny, why do you think they made the Second Amendment, after free speech, the right to bear arms? The reason why it's the Second Amendment is because it's that important on the food chain. It's high up there. The Second Amendment is actually not there to protect you from criminals. It's there to protect you from your own government. You look back in history at all the millions of people that were massacred by tyrannical governments. It was because they couldn't defend themselves. What's the first thing that happened when Hitler gained power? He disarmed the Jews. Go back, this is a story that repeats itself over and over. You take the arms away from the people that are the ones that can take your power away, and that is the citizens of the nation. The Second Amendment is the one thing that props up freedom. Without it, you don't have freedom. You'll have a government that can literally have its way with you. I mean, at the end of the day, there's more citizens than people. It's an armed society is a safe society. If you have a gun and your wife has a gun, and you're in a state that really promotes, being armed, criminals are much less likely to take advantage of you, knowing that you're likely a gun-toting, red-blooded American. But if you're some easy target that clearly is an anti-gun type, you become such an easier target. And we're always thinking when it comes to the guns that the gun committed the crime. The gun didn't commit the crime. This is a problem with character. This is a problem with morality. This is a problem with really crime and the mentality that is sweeping through this country at an alarming rate. The gun didn't do it. In fact, the gun oftentimes would have been the answer that could have saved more lives. The real question around the Second Amendment should be really understanding that most people should be proficient in firearms. They should understand a gun inside and out. I'd want my wife or any kids that I have, I want them to know how to defend themselves. Single women in this country, they should go take gun classes. They should get very familiar. They should know how to defend and protect themselves. They should not be easy targets. Listen, you want to be a high value human alive, you need to be hard to kill. This should be the message that's being pushed around crime. Instead, it's take guns away. And they kind of disguise it as smart laws, blah, 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 blah. No, the buyback program, all the incentives to pull guns out of society, what it does is it emboldens criminals who by the definition of criminal do not follow the law. And if they don't follow the law, your laws only make it harder for law-abiding citizens to get what they need, or if it's just outlawed in general for whatever reason, those are the only people that follow the law are the law-abiding citizens based on the definition of law-abiding. Well, what do you think criminals are gonna do? It makes their job easier as criminals. Very hard to justify breaking into my neighborhood, in any home that I live around. There's more weapons in the neighborhoods that I live than people. Everyone carries, they have arsenals there. It's just the way they're built. And these are savvy people. These are smart people. These are rich people. These are doctors. These are people that can put themselves in safe areas with the high ground. It's gonna be hard to break into my neighbor's house. That guy will literally, you get what I'm saying? But the guy down the road in the next town over, where it's clear, you can just read it from a mile away that this is a person that is not really leaning into the Second Amendment. That should be the story. The real conversation here is that people need to really figure out how to arm themselves correctly, how to be proficient in firearms, how to defend themselves, how to be deadly and dangerous so that you can protect innocence, so that you can protect your family, so you can protect yourself. An armed society, I'll always say it is a safer society. A disarmed society only allows criminals to thrive easier. They make their targets much more accessible.